We're near DC, where Athletes Unlimited has treated lacrosse fans to next-level performance, saving the best for last.
Varela off the sweep, gets through Van Thoff, goes to the goal, stopped there by Glenn. Glenn got a good chunk of that, give her 6 points for the goalie save.
The Week 5 captains are top 4 on the leaderboard. Taylor Cummings and Kaylee Waters are in the driver's seat, with Katie Glynn and Kylie Ohlmiller in hot pursuit. Cummings has climbed to the #1 ranking, has been a powerful display of skill and determination, while Ohlmiller has taken her own brand of acrobatics center stage. The two goalies have plenty of saving grace. Waters is a master of the big stop in the biggest moment, and nobody delivers more rejection than Glynn late in the game. The Book of Unlimited will accept its first lacrosse champion Sunday. The best in the world begin the last chapter next. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on CBS Sports Network is presented by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. As we hit the home stretch, the captains race for the finish line. First up, a matchup between Team Kylie Ohlmiller and the squad led by Taylor Cummings. After 4 weeks of outstanding performances, the Geico leaderboard sets the table for what should be a thrilling weekend. Only 215 points separate Ohlmiller from Cummings. It's neck and neck for Katie Glynn and Kaylee Waters, and there are several others well within range of being one of the top 4 medalists by Sunday night. It is so great to see you again. Along with Courtney Martinez-Connor, a 5-time national champion at Maryland, I'm Joe Beninati. Court, we know these captains very well. What type of leaders are Taylor Cummings and Kylie Ohlmiller?
Joe, they're both very similar in terms that they lead on the field by their example. They play hard. However, they're both very vocal, but Taylor Cummings plays at both ends. She's even at the draw control, so she's able to put her input all over the field in real time. Kylie offensively really gets her team rolling when she's working hard and doing what she needs to do. It gets the others involved.
Let's bring the championship contenders into focus. When I think of Taylor Cummings, I see a player who is the portrait of determination and willpower.
Taylor Cummings, she is just a force on the field, especially from the draw control when she has her speed going. If you give her space, she's going to capitalize on it. She dodges hard to cage. She's a freight train on the field. It is hard to slow her down, but her ability to feed the ball off of her dodges is what makes her such a dual threat.
Like a locomotive, she steamrolled to the top of the leaderboard, making a dent in every stat category, and she shows no signs of stopping. Her opposition today is led by Kylie Ohlmiller, and Kylie is the type of player who's very familiar with the captain's role and whose highlights just leap off the screen at you.
Kylie's one of those wow factor players. She has such a knack for the goal. She has tremendous offensive IQ. She sees the big picture, working off ball, knows when and where to cut exactly. She's so fast on the offensive end of the field, but she can also shoot from a range. She does not need to be close to the goal, but her ability to get her defensive player on her heels is what's most important with her quick step.
She's already had 2 5-goal games during league play. Kylie knows in order to win it all, she's going to need to rack up huge stat and win points these last 3 games. Court, it's a unique scoring system with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. It can keep us all busy, but we've come to find out the way to score big is to win big as a team.
That's right. Every quarter counts in Athletes Unlimited. Every quarter your team can win 20 points. The overall win culminates into 45 points. However, it's also important what you do on the field. You want others recognizing your hard work. That's how you earn MVP points. There's 3 per game. Your team does not need to be the winning team, so it's important for you to do your job. And then lastly, individual stat points count. You want to win draw controls, get ground balls, obviously score goals, make saves, but you want to do that with the least amount of mistakes possible because those detract from your overall leaderboard score.
The last month's been pretty cool. We've witnessed 58 of the finest players in the world get mixed and matched into 4 different teams every week through a captains-only draft. And it's all with the goal of crowning one individual champion by close of business Sunday. And that is our mission this time around. This first game, game 25 of 30 this season, featuring Team Ohlmiller and Team Cummings. It's been a pleasure to bring the audience down to the field. We've been introducing you to the goalies and players throughout this run of play. Mira Shane gets the start for Team Ohlmiller. the former Michigan standout, and Courtney, her play has been getting better and better and better as the weeks have gone along. At the other end, one player who has stopped more lacrosse balls than anyone in this Athletes Unlimited lacrosse season is Britt Reed. Britt, at one point in the captain's top 4, unseated from that top 4 recently, but still a player within medal range as we are off and running. Team Cummings in the goal on the fast break of Puzo. She scores 6 seconds into the game. Statement.
Joe, so many times we talk about how quick does it take to score from the center draw control. This is the second or third time that we've seen it done in about 6 seconds. Again, we talked about how dominant Taylor Cummings is at that draw control. We see her grabbing it out of the air the entire time. Sama Puzo was running step for step with her. It's so very important offensively to stay in front of that midfielder who's coming right at you. Put yourself in the best possible position to catch, turn, and fire, and that's exactly what we see. Sam got below her defensive players, which is very important to be able to have that one-on-one with the goalie.
Jubilant right off the bat for Sam Puzo, who leads all of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse with 28 goals this season. The officials today: Liz Brush, Lucia Perfetti-Clark, Devin Holcomb, and Lauren Charwat. As Cummings has handled the first 2 draw controls. You get draw possession, that's worth 2 points. You score a goal, it's worth 12, like Puzo did, and she's trying to do again. 6-on-6 at this end of the field. There's a 60-second shot clock. On the go, McCool, knife down there by Shane, and off and running, it's Allie Kennedy, who was the #1 overall pick in this past Monday's draft. Parros kicks it quickly. Dowd makes one more. Just bounced it wide. Sammy Jo Tracy saying to the officials that that was kicked by Reed, so give Reed the save. 6 points for every goalie stop.
Already we're seeing the quick pace of Athletes Unlimited. The fields are shorter. The shot clock is at 60 seconds. It makes for an intense game offensively if you push the fast break.
Off the roll dodge, Ohlmiller just buzzed that one wide. Closest to the playing field gets possession. The officials giving it to the team dressed in purple. McCone going right to the goal, and she was fouled up high.
Referees are pointing to the spot of the foul. If it's inside of the 8-meter key, then it's an 8-meter. However, I don't think that's what they're rewarding in this instance. She was outside of that space, so she just gets the ball to the side.
Lindsay McComb was a really good feeder last week, Court. She had a 3-assist game. Here she finds Kennedy knifing to the net. She scores! Allie Kennedy.
Allie Kennedy was a surprise pick for us offensively as that first pick in the draft. However, Kylie Owen of Team Purple realized what she was doing. She knew what Allie Kennedy was capable of. She won Midfielder of the Year in 2021 as a player at Stony Brook. When she gets the ball into her stick, she goes with explosive speed, and that's exactly what happened right off of that foul.
Amber Hill, you could tell the backup keeper on the bench for Team Ohlmiller, psyched to see that strike from Allie Kennedy, who has goals in 8 straight games now, and we are 1-1, still shy of the 2-minute mark. There are 8-minute quarters in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. The first of 2 games this Friday early evening with you. Late afternoon from Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. We're about 30 miles north of Washington, D.C. Temperatures hovering in the mid-80s. It's sticky, it's humid, but the sun is shining bright. Cummings is going right to the cage again after another draw control. She fumbled it right to the waiting Mira Shane. When you turn it over, Court, it's -8 on your individual stat line.
-8, and you know, I'd be curious to see if that was a caused turnover by Emily Parros, number 5 in purple. It was the pressure that she applied that kind of knocked and jostled that ball out of Taylor Cummings' stick.
Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, the only league driven entirely by the athletes. This is the final weekend of 5 for 2021. Softball season number 2 begins next weekend for Athletes Unlimited. McCone snaking her way in. McCone off the feed. Sammy Jo Tracy hits the brakes. She recaptures. MC Byrne is right there with her. 14 seconds to shoot. That was a tough catch for Kennedy. Shot clock's at 10. McCone outside the 8-meter key, lets it fly. That's a routine save for Britt Reed, her second of this young game. The outlet was right on time there for Molly Little. Little looking to McCool, right up the gut. McCool fires and scores! Marie McCool.
Offensively, we see that started from the save at the opposite end of the field. Players moving in full speed, passing. The ball moves faster than any one player running, and they certainly capitalized on that.
There aren't very many players any faster than Marie McCool. Coast to coast from end to end, and she finishes, giving Team Cummings the early lead.
Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Guaranteed Rate.
Kylie O'Miller had some fun back on Monday along with Taylor Cummings, the captain's only draft. And Courtney, you and I presided over it, and we were shocked right off the jump to see Kylie take Allie Kennedy. Katie Glynn knows her way around the draft table. The two goalkeepers, captains in this final week, so 5 drafts completed. And when it comes to the bookkeeping, let's give credit where credit is due to a defender like Becca Block, who was week after week the first defender taken off the board.
First defender taken off the board, and she is so very consistent on the field. You know, obviously each and every one of those captains did their work. They were looking at players who they played well with in the past, in addition to players who they haven't even played with to date, but yet had played with either at the collegiate level or on the U.S. team.
Meg Dowdy was a captain earlier in the season. Sammy Jo Tracy meeting up with Taylor Cummings at the draw circle. Taylor leads all when it comes to individual stat points. Her teammate this week, Sam Apuzzo, right there. Britt Reed, look at the assembly of talent that's on that Team Cummings squad in week 5.
Joe, when we did the draft, I was so surprised at the picks that Taylor Cummings was able to achieve, but every single player is a superstar in this league.
Everything shaped up real nicely for Taylor as she has the #1 overall spot. We will crown one single champion on Sunday night with you. Cummings has had the hot hand at the draw control so far. Her team has won all 4. This one bounces to the sideline. Possession belongs to Team O'Miller in purple as we near the 3-minute mark of the opening quarter. If you joined us a little late, Apuzzo and McCool have sandwiched goals around a strike from Allie Kennedy.
I like the change at the center draw control. Team O'Miller put Sammy Jo at the draw, making a change. She's putting the ball where she wants it to be, and then immediately checking Taylor Cummings' stick right away.
Sammy Jo Tracy said the key, Court, at the draw control was to always try and be one play ahead. Think ahead. McCone trying to get underneath on Pelton. Pelton gave her a shove. Kira Pelton's been awesome when it comes to win points this summer. She's 9-3 in her dozen games. Scoops this one for Britt Reed, and it'll come back for Cummings as we near the midway mark of the opening frame. Little scampers ahead. Molly, the former University of Denver captain, yields it for Cummings. 3 times a Tewaaraton Trophy winner out of Maryland. She said the Tewaaraton's a team award. It just happens to live in my house. 3 times over.
Now that's the words of a true competitor, knowing that you get there due to your teammates and what they're able.
Apuzzo won that award as well. Great save there by Shane as she stopped Cummings point blank. Mira Shane looking to clear.
They're able to propel your play forward, teammates. And that's something that Taylor Cummings, during her time at Maryland, multiple national championships, but it's that will, the drive that she has that you had talked about earlier that kind of sets her apart from so many others.
Each of these teams unique. Each of them drafted every Monday, as we've done for the past 5 weeks of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Down the stretch now, heading towards a championship weekend, championship Sunday. Kennedy stops and starts, long range, and again, no worries for a kneeling Britt Reed. That's way too easy for 19 in the gold.
You know, I think they found success when they were dodging and penetrating that 8-meter key, Team Ohlmiller. Just from the outside, Britt Reed, her eyes are all over those long-distance shots. And so sometimes you can take a goalie by surprise later in the game. But right now, use with what worked for you early on, and that was dodging and cutting.
5 minutes into the contest, Apuzzo tries to get under on Dowdy, lets it go, and Mira Shane went to the splits to make the denial. Another fine stop for Mira. She's backed up by the captain, Katie Glynn, who usually does business. Or rather, she's backed up by Amber Hill. Katie Glynn will be the keeper in the nightcap.
As we rewatch this save right here, a hard dodge to the middle. We see defensively, she was getting that attacker off of her mark a little bit. That helps the goalkeeper understand where that shot is going to be coming from. And obviously, an easy save for Mira Shane in cage.
Izzy McMahon off the Reed dodge finds Peros. 24 seconds to shoot. Reed stepped out there on Ohlmiller, who went crashing down to the deck. McMahon off of a 4-goal performance last week against Team Wood. Finds McCone outside the 8-meter key, 9 seconds to shoot. Kennedy off the split dodge, then to the roll, 4 seconds to shoot. Feed it inside, that was too low for Ohlmiller, and Reed comes out of there off the shot clock violation. Team Cummings has the ball. Remember, folks, every quarter, 20 points on the line for the winning team right now. Team Cummings has the advantage, 2-1. Pelton offers for Molly Stevens. Molly on the move, matched up with Katie Hirsch, veteran defender. Katie, who had a 6-year stint with the U.S. national team, someone who's been involved in coaching for 9 years, now very interested in real estate. Cummings will invert, switch it to McCool. McCool picked up on the perimeter, shakes inside and scores! Marie McCool, her second on the day.
Marie McCool uses her athleticism on the field. We see that in this pass dodge that she just did, giving that 3rd goal to Team Cummings, her 2nd goal tonight. Marie McCool, one of the fastest players on the field. However, her ability to create separation from her defensive player right there was off of a split dodge. She split from left to right with a quick little stutter step, and that's what gave her that extra little step. We see it right here. She took her defender down before coming back to her dominant hand on the right-hand side, shooting on the run. That slide was a little bit late defensively, all created better opportunities for Marie McCool.
McCool has 9 multi-goal games this season. 9 of her 13. It's a 2-point advantage for Team Cummings. Folks, if you want to get even closer to the game, join the Unlimited Club for free by downloading the Athletes Unlimited app today. You'll receive all the latest news and updates into the palm of your hand. Stream digital games, unlock special access, and more. If you're looking for more than that, then we invite you to upgrade your membership for a whole year of behind-the-scenes access. All the Athletes Unlimited seasons. Join the players in voting for the game MVPs and the end-of-season awards. Visit auprosports.com. That's auprosports.com. Learn more about the Unlimited Club, and there you'll make your Geico Unlimited pick to unlock content from your favorite player. Last 2 points on the board belonging to Team Cummings, as we say thanks to our presenting field partners, our sponsors from Geico, involved in this Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse event on CBS Sports Network. Joe Beninati and Courtney Martinez-Connor with you. It's been the Marie McCool show so far, and no surprise. McCool, who had a 5-point game last weekend, had 3 goals and 2 assists against Team Glynn. As far as the players on the field are concerned, the in-game leaderboard, the game within the game, Taylor Cummings still has the top rung.
You know, and it's going to be hard to knock her off just because she's involved all over the field, from the draw to D. Offensively, she makes plays everywhere. However, we've noticed that she has a matchup on the defensive end of the field. Every time Allie Kennedy touches that ball, she's trying to come out and play her.
And we will be reminding you, every quarter there are 20 points on the line. If the score stays in Taylor's favor over the next 75 seconds, she'll bank another 20 points for herself and all of her mates on the leaderboard. Off the draw, ball down, McCone digging for it. It comes up to Marie McCool. McCool unsettled here, looking for the fast break. Stevens will pull it back out. Cummings settles in 6-on-6. The two cages are about 80 yards apart. We play 10-on-10. Rosters are usually 14 or 15 per side. Apuzzo picked up by Dowdy. National Attacker of the Year against National Defender of the Year in days gone by. Cummings with 41 seconds to operate, about a 6-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Michelle Tumolo, who's been getting better every weekend offensively, working around up top outside the 8-meter key. McCool on the go around the pick set by Cummings. Shot clock's at 14. Top side, Tumolo yields to Apuzzo off the split. She fires. That one ricochets around and out. 10 seconds in the quarter. Team Cummings about to win the opening frame. Cummings going to the goal. Stabbed again by Shane. Follow up. Another sprawling stop by Mira Shane. Fine work by the keeper to end the quarter.
Mira Shane making sure that no more goals were put on the board by Team Cummings. What I liked about that offense is they continuously were doing something different. Simple split cuts, then a two-man game. Consistently changing that point of attack. However, Mira Shane was able to come up each and every time with a save, getting herself back into position, which was so very important.
Also known as DJ Miracle. Nice job, Mira Shane, tearing it up. Despite Meg Dowdy doing her best to cover you like a blanket, it's Team Cummings a 3-1 leader after 8 minutes of play with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Our players have been asked to talk about self-belief, a time of reflection, and how it affected their career. Let's listen to Meg.
Going through the recruiting process and going to University of Maryland, believing in myself that I can do what I set my mind to. I didn't think going to college as a freshman that I would ever play. And I just made sure that I was checking all the boxes to ensure that I had the best opportunity to do so. So I was working out really hard. I was making sure that I was completing the run tests and just being as fit as possible to give myself that best shot. And I guess that belief in me as an athlete helped me see that there can come success after the fact.
Believe You Will, presented by Guaranteed Rate, as we focus in on Meg Dowdy, a player court who had to deal with her own injury concerns during this Athletes Unlimited season.
You know, Meg Dowdy, she's just one of those dominant defensive players, but always has a smile on her face. So whether she's on the field or off the field with an injury, she's always putting her input, which is so very important from any teammate.
Kylie Ohlmiller's team may need to put her on Marie McCool. McCool was strong in the opening quarter.
Marie McCool, so dominant in the first quarter, was able to put up 2 goals for Team Cummings in gold. Her speed, her athleticism, and being able to shoot on the run, so very difficult, all while aiming, but she notices her lanes, and that's something that any good midfielder does. When they see space, they're going to take it.
Marie McCool chit-chatting with Emily Peros, 2 former Tar Heels there. If you're just jumping on board with us this Friday afternoon, Mira Shane was dynamite in that first quarter. Marie, we told you about her scoring efforts. Team Cummings in gold. Taylor has had the upper hand with respect to draw control. Now against Sammy Joe Tracy. The official Devin Holcomb lining him up. Popped high in the air. Cummings is so good about winning those to herself. And she comes up with another 2 points for the draw control along the sideline. Bad pass there, though. Peros picks it off. This is a potential fast break the other way. Team Cummings gets back in the hole defensively. 6-on-6 at this end. You score from behind the 8-meter key, they'll give you 16 points. It'll be a 2-pointer for your team. Ohlmiller dancing in against Pelton. Kylie hesitates. Started the weekend number 4 on the leaderboard. She zings that one wide of the cage. halfway through the shot clock. Sammy Jo Tracy's picked up by Becca Block. Outstanding former National Defender of the Year out of Syracuse. On the exchange, looking inside, Perros just bounced it wide off of a nice relay from Katrina Dowd. Off the restart, Pelton's running the other way for Team Cummings. 3-1 advantage, the last 2 goals on the board, both singles from this player, Marie McCool, number 40.
Defensively, Team Cummings is not giving much space to dodge in one-on-one situations. So Team Ohlmiller looking for more give-and-go styles, changing it up, getting others involved.
Perros put that ball on the ground. It's picked up by Cummings. Halfway through the shot clock, Apuzzo isolates against Dowdy. Apuzzo fires and scores! Sam Apuzzo.
Sam Apuzzo has the ability to either dodge to her right or left-hand side. We saw right there, she got top side of her defensive player, Meg Dowdy, one of the best in the world. So very hard to stop Sam Apuzzo when she gets a head full of steam. We see defensively right here, that pick is what allowed her to get that step. Again, when you play as a team, that pick by Taylor Cummings, her teammate, but opposite weak side needs to understand and see that her teammate is getting picked off and be able to slide sooner. However, capitalizing, making sure she shot before that defensive player slid. Sam Apuzzo giving a 4th goal to Team Cummings.
Apuzzo with tallies in all 13 games this season. She's missing her best bud, Dempsey Arsenault, not available for Team Ohlmiller, placed on the injured list and will not compete in this week 5. 3 unanswered now for Team Cummings. And Taylor keeps hogging the draw, although Perros stole that one around the circle. Floats it ahead for Kennedy. Allie Kennedy streaking towards that 8-meter key. McCone for Dowd, snuffed out. Britt Reed made the save at the doorstep. And Becca Block will smoothly bring it along. Block, who wore orange in the first 3 weeks of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, will yield this one for Cummings. A 3-point cushion 2 minutes into the second quarter. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on CBS Sports Network, presented by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Cummings will wait. Find Tumalo from the top off the roll dodge, not fooling Rudkin. That was a difficult pass to catch inside. The follow-up was fanned on by Byrne, and Mira Shane says thanks.
You know, at this point, for Team Ohlmiller, offensively, they want to make sure to capitalize every possession that they have. So far, they've been stifled by the defense of Team Cummings, and now's the time to make a change. It's the second quarter. You don't want the opposing team to go on a really large run. Lacrosse is a game of runs, but you need to stop the bleeding and stop it early, so that way you can get back onto the scoreboard and back into the game.
Save story is even at both ends, 4 apiece. The first quarter, 20 points were won by all the players in gold, 20 more available in the second, third, and fourth. You get 45 points as a team should you win the game. Dowd swooping in. Katrina rolls inside. Didn't finish. It bounces wide of the cage. The whistles blare out, and possession belongs to Team Cummings.
When you look at the physical play on the field, Athletes Unlimited, there's more physicality. There's no shooting space or 3 seconds calls. They're allowed to make harder contact to the body. However, fouls are still called, just not as many as what you traditionally see in an NCAA game.
Lindsay Ronbeck with her first touch. Number 12 in the gold, former All-American out of Florida. This is Michelle Tumalo with the ball, guarded by Rudkin. Tumalo will be the new head coach at Army. McCool floats it. Ronbeck is next. Sydney Pareca there to challenge her. Shot clock at 20. Cummings skipping inside the key. Hesitates, rolls on McCone, and then sent it high. The backup belongs to Apuzzo off the end line. It's a 4-1 advantage for 27. 4-1 for Team Cummings. Back with more in just a few moments. All the camaraderie, all the good fun, all the high scoring of Athletes Unlimited. Team Cummings on a 3-goal run without a tally from number 27 so far. Apuzzo has 2. McCool has 2. It's 4-1 at the moment. Friends, don't miss the action tonight. 8 Eastern, Indiana and Dallas. CBS Sports Network brings you a WNBA tip-off from Texas. The Fever taking on the Wings. As we get set for the resumption of play in the second quarter, we remind you to own a piece of Athletes Unlimited history with the first ever Topps trading card set for professional women's lacrosse. The limited edition sets feature all the athletes, plus additional cards about the league and randomly inserted serial numbered parallels, including player autographs and Nike Golden tickets. These sets are available to purchase right now through the 27th of August at Topps.com. That's TOPPS.com. It's the only opportunity to get this unique collectible. Get yours today. With regard to win points, Courtney, we've said it time after time. If you win as a team, you improve as an individual. Katie Glynn, one of the captains you'll see in the nightcap against Kaylee Waters, is number 1 in that regard.
Love to see that once teams win, and we talked about this early on in the season before Sam Apuzzo and Taylor Cummings got on winning teams, they were trailing at that point.
McCool fires. Shane made the save. It should be noted, like the point you're making, Sam Apuzzo's overall record is 3-9. As good as her numbers are, her teams have not had tremendous success up until recently. And as they've improved, she's improved on the overall leaderboard. Kennedy going to the cage. McMahon is very quick. That was a twisting pass that spun Sammy Joe Tracy around. Look at Oldmiller sell out on the sideline, not able to keep that alive for her squad in purple. 3 and change left in this fast-moving opening half of play. McMahon there running little to the ditch. The officials asking for time. Izzy McMahon, I watched her in practice this week. Her speed, her first step, acceleration is extraordinarily good.
She can change direction so quickly. That was her bread and butter when she was at USC as a collegiate athlete. She loved attacking from the top high side. Obviously, she has a capability around the goal as well.
Ronbeck fires and scores! On the move, Lindsay Ronbeck would not be denied.
Lindsay Ronbeck, a natural lefty. We see her explosive speed on the field. Whenever she sees space to the cage, she's going to take it. And right there, defensively, they weren't forcing her to her weak hand. Not that she doesn't have one, but if she has a lane to that strong left side right there, and again, it was just a few steps down to her right, she had space, and then she dodged hard to that left dominant side.
You see how fast and powerful she is. Courtney, she used to be a field hockey goalie. And the coaches said, no, you're a little too quick for us to stick you in the net. And then she fell in love with lacrosse, and it's been gangbusters ever since. Bottoms up there for Lindsay, well-deserved refreshments. It is 4 unanswered points on the board for Team Cummings. Fans, it's time to earn points for watching today's telecast. Take out your phone, enter the code you're about to see on the screen. Enter that into your Athletes Unlimited app to earn points. If you don't have the Athletes Unlimited app, head over to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and start earning points to unlock exclusive rewards. Stay in the know about all things Athletes Unlimited. Playing in front of friends and family and special guests tonight are we this Friday afternoon. Folks, when you are here with us in person at Maureen Hendricks Field, we invite you to get an exclusive NFT. It's a free Athletes Unlimited digital collectible. All you have to do is be here in person, scan the QR code. We'll be rolling out a new limited edition NFT each fan game this season. The final one this Sunday, so get your tickets ASAP. 5-1 for Cummings. Overall, that's where it matters most. As far as the in-game individuals are concerned, Taylor is still climbing and trying to put some distance between herself and the rest of the pack.
Joe, a second ago, Britt Reed was at number 8. Those first quarter points matter for every single player wearing that gold jersey. Obviously, if the score continues to hold true, having a second quarter point of 20 points, those will continue to bump you up. Obviously, that would give her more points than that number 6 in front of her, Dempsey Arsenal, so she would pass her if the score holds true.
Dempsey on the injured list, will not be competing in week 5. In the second quarter alone, Team Cummings has the advantage over Kylie Ohlmiller there in the familiar eye black. 2 points to 0. 20 points on the line per quarter. If the quarters are tied, they carry over. Liz Brush gets the draw combatants in line. Sammy Jo Tracy scrapes that one out of there, but it was stolen by Marie McCool. On for Cummings. Taylor collects. Emily Peros right there in her grill. Cummings snapped that one wide of the cage. On the end line, backed up though. Possession belongs to Apuzzo and Team Cummings.
Joe, they're putting the ball exactly where they want it to be, Sammy Jo Tracy. However, the circle people need to react a little bit better to where that ball is going. The circle people are the ones who are winning the ball right now for Team Cummings.
McCool just rang one off the post. She had Mira Shane beaten there. That hit the inside of the goalpost, denying McCool the hat trick. There have been 3 pipes hit in this opening 16 minutes of play. 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. It bounces away from Apuzzo. Turnover. Meg Dowdy's turn now for the team in purple. Stevens riding hard. Molly 17 in the goal. Courtney, you and I shared a meal recently. It was Mexican food. We should have asked Molly. Her mom and dad, they owned a Mexican restaurant for 11 years. Good eats.
I would be eating there every
Yes.
day, along with my friends.
Very good eats. Cummings will walk it ahead. Final 90 seconds of this first half of play. Tumalo finding McCool. McCool off the split dodge, bumped by Peros. Dowdy latching on quickly to Apuzzo. Throw it on back. Halfway through the shot clock. McCool, topside. Apuzzo, big face dodge there from outside the 8-meter key. McCool resets. Dowdy gets right on her hands. Michelle Tumalo, hawked by Peros. That pass is picked off. Dowdy on the intercept, and she and Hirsch look to go the other way. Katie Hirsch, the black belt in Shotokan Karate. We get the whistle here and a timeout with just 44 ticks remaining in the half.
The coach in me was just about to say now's a perfect time to call a timeout. There's less than 45 seconds on the shot clock. You need to score, and you need to score quick. Is it going to be 2 one-point goals? We know that it can happen from the draw control within 6 seconds. It's time to set up a play offensively or come out with one of those big 2-pointers that we've seen so often, and they're gaining more popularity each and every week.
As they huddle up, those in purple, hearing from facilitator there, Shanta Lecker. We remind you that tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7 Eastern, get ready for an intense, high-flying battle at sea. 8 countries setting sail for the conclusion of the Denmark Sail Grand Prix. Don't miss the action on CBS Sports Network. It's a hot day, you can tell. One look on the faces. 5-1 for Team Cummings. Late in the second quarter, and Courtney, Sam Apuzzo is one who has to be watched at all times.
Sam Apuzzo, she is so dynamic on the field. And we see right from this very first draw control of this game, she was all eyes on her teammate Taylor Cummings, who won that draw cleanly and was off to the races. And then a little 2-man game with Taylor Cummings. Again, her capitalizing to that strong side. But don't be fooled, she loves to throw in the question mark dodge, split back to her left. It's really hard to contain her defensively.
Big time hat trick total, as you see, bottom of the screen, tops on the circuit. It was Michelle Tumalo who really sold Sam Apuzzo on Athletes Unlimited. Michelle, part of the player executive committee. The athletes are leaders and decision makers in this league. Sam closing in on number 30 for this 5-weekend run. When it's all said and done, the individual players will play 15 games. Puzo, a natural goal scorer for sure. Final 40 seconds of the opening half. McMahon takes it for a ride against Little. Trailing by 2 points in the second quarter alone, so Team Cummings has another 20 points potentially for everybody on the roster should this score hold. Ohlmiller gets inside from the severe angle, she scores! Kylie Ohlmiller ending a drought of better than 14 minutes.
Clearing space, first we saw the ball in Izzy McMahon's stick. Thought they were gonna set something up. They might have liked that matchup. However, they got it into their captain's hands. And that quick little roll, she loves the roll dodge, always able to come back. We see Kylie right here taking her defensive player up high, giving herself a little bit more space in order to see that lane to goal. What I love right there, that fake, that slight little hesitation, the hitch fake right there froze Britt Reed, and that's why she was able to shoot up and around, but still no angle, hardly any angle.
When Britt Reed sees that replay, she'll say, I should have been a little deeper. I didn't have to step out and challenge there. I gave her the angle that she needed. If Britt's back against the pipe, that becomes a very simple stop for her. Easy for me to say. Team Ohlmiller's only other goal came 73 seconds into the game. That put an end to a very, very lengthy drought. 5-2 with 21 seconds to go, with the sun beating down on the draw specialists. Ball down, Peros had it for a moment in her cross. Sammy Jo Tracy goosed it onto the offensive side. Cummings, though, will get the 2 for the draw control. And find Pelton. Kira Pelton motors into the offensive end. 4 seconds left, fires, it goes wide. That may have been Pelton's only shot of the season. She missed the target as we hear the whistle. Pelton is much more mindful of the defensive end. Former Pac-12 tourney champ at Stanford. One quick pass to the interior goes awry, and that's going to do it for the opening 2 quarters. We are at the half. A 5-2 advantage for Team Cummings.
Joe, when we talk about the speed so far of this game in Athletes Unlimited, it's quick, 60 seconds, not a lot of time to get down to the other end of the field offensively, especially if the offensive team is riding hard. But we're seeing quick transitions culminate into a lot of offensive challenges, but goalies have been able to come up big within their goal cage, making a lot of saves within this first half.
If Mira Shane isn't at her best in the opening 16 minutes, the deficit could be a whole lot more. Taylor Cummings' team was thought to be an offensive juggernaut when it was put together back on Monday's draft, and it's proven to be difficult to handle. 5-2 after 2 quarters of play here at Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. This complex built by Discovery Communications chairman John Hendricks and renamed after his wife Maureen back in 2013. We're joined by Kylie Ohlmiller after 2 quarters. And Kylie, from your perspective, how'd that first 2 frames play out?
Down by 3 right now, so not our best lacrosse, but I think we kind of put some pieces together toward the end of that quarter. We got our nerves out a little bit. That always tends to happen on the first game of the weekend because you're working together with a new team. So we're just kind of getting the kinks out, and I think we're going to have a big second half here for Purple.
Kylie, notice we saw a change in the draw takers. Can we expect to see that in the second half?
Definitely, and I think, going into the draft, I wanted to have options on the draw, especially going against, a legend on the draw circle like Taylor Cummings. So you got to just throw some different things at her, and you might be seeing a little bit of Lindsay, a little bit of Sammy Jo, and maybe back and forth just to try to mess her up a little bit.
Kylie, we appreciate it. The eye black looks good. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much, Joe.
Kylie Ohlmiller has 3 points to catch up to Taylor Cummings as we are in the first of 2 this Friday, tearing it up. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on CBS Sports Network is presented by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. 4 of the last 5 points in that opening half of play with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse belonging to Team Cummings. They have the 5-2 advantage after 2. We've been focused on gold, orange, blue, and purple for weeks with Athletes Unlimited, but many players in this league have Team USA in their future. Kayla Trainer begins with her thoughts on what it means to wear the U.S. colors.
I've had a long career with U.S. and gotten to play in a World Cup and got to play in a U19 World Cup, and I'm definitely one of the lucky ones. It means a lot to me, and I feel really fortunate.
The U.S. jersey is just, it's like putting on that armor, right? That shield of like, this is such a reward because I know it's very limited in spots. So I'm just grateful that I've been able to, you know, get that spot and fight for that spot, but also continue to have that opportunity to grow the game and wear the red, white, and blue. So it's an incredible feeling.
The U.S. women's team has never won on American soil when we've hosted, so that's a huge thing that this group of 36 and 62 even is really trying. Whoever makes it, like, that's our mission, is to win on American soil. And having been on the team in 2017 and felt like the pride and the joy and you've finally done it after trying out for 4 years, to now have 5 years to kind of wait for it, I think we're all like chomping at the bit, ready to go compete. So to play in front of our fans on our field, on our soil, and hopefully win a gold medal, that's our goal, and that's the only thing we're looking towards.
Taylor Cummings getting some refreshments prior to the start of the third quarter this Friday afternoon. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez, Connor with you with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. And Court, I'm going to ask for you to put words to those great players. What must it be like to do Team USA for a second time around? Are you feeling added pressure, would you expect, this time?
You know, I think the fact that they had another year to have to train and get ready, you know, it's kind of a little letdown. After COVID occurred, they were primed, they were prepared to go, and then they were working on Zoom calls. They were doing things together, but not together, and that can make it a little bit more difficult. And then players who weren't necessarily looking to play in the World Championships of 2020 now have the opportunity to do so in 2021. They've elevated their game, so it just means a broader team that they have selections from, and it makes it more difficult no matter if you're a coming back player to the U.S. program or a brand new player.
Jenny Levy, the current coach at North Carolina, will be the head coach for Team USA, and she will have a lot of buttons to push at her disposal. We're going to be teeing up some highlights from tonight's game right after this. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on CBS Sports Network is presented by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. We are halfway home in the opener this Friday. Team Cummings on top of Team Oldmiller by the count of 5-2. Folks, time to earn points for watching today's broadcast. Take out your phone, enter the code on the screen into your Athletes Unlimited app to earn points. If you don't have the Athletes Unlimited app, head over to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Start earning points to unlock exclusive rewards. Stay in the know about all things Athletes Unlimited. As the discussions continue for Team Oldmiller, Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez, Connor with you in court. Relatively, by Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse standards, a low-scoring first half. Why?
Well, it means the goalies are playing well, number one, first and foremost. Obviously, the defense is doing their job, but ultimately the goalkeepers are the ones who've made a lot of saves. They're the ones pushing that fast break into the offensive end of the field. But then the same issue at the other end. The goalkeepers are making saves.
Well done. We're going to get to the highlights, and it didn't take long for the scoring to break the ice tonight.
Just 6 seconds into the game, Taylor Cummings running all the way, seeing a wide open Sam Apuzzo. Speed, speed, and speed again is what we continue to see for Team Cummings right here. Allie Kennedy getting the ball. We see that quick little face dodge. Contact by Taylor Cummings. That's going to be a matchup that we're going to see throughout the day. But another fast break goal, this one finding the hands of Marie McCool from the defensive end of the field.
McCool always a driving force for the offense. Found enough room there on Peros and converts. Apuzzo would follow. And then Ronbeck covering a lot of ground.
I love her explosiveness on the field. She gets a step oh so quickly. And then Kylie O'Miller, one more. It's like a dip and dunk, yet she's not one of the tallest players out there, but that slight little hesitation is what threw Britt Reed off.
That ended a 14-plus minute drought for Kylie's team. 5-2 after 2 quarters. Overall, the stats play out like this.
Biggest things that jump out, you have to shoot to score. Obviously, Team Cummings is shooting a lot more than Team O'Miller, and then draws one. You have to win the draw in order to create opportunities for your team.
Almost time to tee it up with quarter number 3. It's all yours in a moment. I notice Kathleen Geiger there in the background in the white t-shirt. Her daughter Katrina plays in the nightcap. For the moment, we're enjoying Team Cummings and Team O'Miller, a 5-2 lead for Taylor's side. Taylor on top on the Geico overall leaderboard, still setting the pace over Kaylee Waters, who will also be playing later on. Taylor joins us before the start of the third quarter. Taylor, I'm going to assume you like the first half. What can you and your team do better in the third quarter?
You know, I think we've gotten some great shots, but Mira Shane has played awesome in cage. So just taking the extra second, finding the back of the net, and trying to put it around her. But she's doing a great job. She's making life as a shooter really difficult.
Taylor, as you put this team together from the draft on Monday night, what were the things that you were seeing on the field today, which is exactly what you wanted when you picked each of these players?
Yeah, I think we all bring something a little bit different to the table, and that's what you look for when you're trying to build a complete team. Plus, they're just great people and a lot of fun to be around, and we've enjoyed our first 16 minutes together.
I expect you guys will mesh well from here on out. Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
Taylor Cummings ready to get back to work. Britt Reed is in the goal circle for Taylor's squad. As Taylor gets ready to take this draw to start quarter number 3. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez, Connor with the tip of the cap to all the men and women in our technical crew for all their efforts day and night. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on CBS Sports Network, presented by Guaranteed Rate. Sammy Joe Tracy will line up opposite of Taylor for this draw. Mira Shane stays put in goal. Amber Hill is her understudy. Mira was very explosive in the cage in the first 2 quarters. Team Cummings has already won the first quarter and the second quarter, so that's 40 total points win-wise for everybody in goal. Marie McCool took an awkward step there. She stays down for a moment as the ball comes up for Michelle Tumalo. Tumalo driving to the cage, weak side that floats away from Apuzzo and is taken on the run by Allie Kennedy. Kennedy, who has one of the 2 points on the board for Team O'Miller. Kylie, her captain, has the other. When you score, you get 12. If you score from behind the 8-meter key, you'll get 16. 4 points if you help out with an assist. McCone ready to go to goal. Katrina Dowd, who had her first hat trick in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse last weekend. Boisterous defense. You hear all the communication, feel level. Miller gets underneath. O'Miller gets underneath and scores! Kylie O'Miller had enough room to sliver right to the crease.
Joe and Kylie did that not just against any defender, but against one of the best defenders on Team USA, Becca Block. We see right here, her eyes are up, she sees possibilities. And then that quick split, the change of direction is what can get any defensive player. She is so quick off of that first step. And then her ability to always tiptoe around that crease. We see she keeps it in her dominant hand, that protection. She puts her body in between her stick and her defender and is able, she doesn't need a big windup. It's just a nice, quick little push-pull in front of her face.
See the damage that Kylie has done at the bottom of the screen. She has 7 multi-goal games this season. This is game 25 of 30. This is the final weekend of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. We are crowning one single champion on Sunday night. There have been 58 players here in residence. Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. Washington, D.C. is about 30 minutes south of here. Cummings scrapes that draw right to herself. Give her 2 points for the draw control, and then she'll get a helping cross from Becca Block. Just getting going in the second half. Kylie O'Miller's team pulling within 2 points. MC Byrne is 60 in the gold. She joined Athletes Unlimited in week 2. Stevens sweeping from the top. Delivers to Tumalo. She'll orchestrate. Rudkin with a great speed, able to stay with her. Tumalo for Cummings, inside roll. Cummings scores!
When you're on the field and playing on Taylor Cummings, I'd say that's a size mismatch. However, Emily Peros is so strong defensively, very physical, but Taylor Cummings with the slight edge right there as she's dodging one-on-one. She gets the ball off of this feed. That quick little rollback, we see the protection that she has from the swinging stick of her defensive player. Again, nice protection, quickness off of her release. It's that cut and quick roll all in one motion that allows her to get space from that defensive player and then bringing her stick, protecting while obviously still moving that feet was key.
Courtney, we've itemized throughout this summer just how good a player Taylor Cummings is and how highly decorated she has been. She said she wasn't a good player when she was young, that all of this has happened over time. So she is the picture of someone to say, you know what, keep trying, you'll get better and better. If you're not so good with this sport right away, give it a chance.
You know, she may not have had the best stick skills when she was younger, but she was always a competitive player. You know, I watched her play growing up, basketball, soccer, and she was just someone who worked hard on the field.
Becca Block with a great speed, finds Tumalo. Tumalo keeps it hot for Apuzzo. Pass to the inside, score! Stevens on the quick stick. And Team Cummings has something cooking.
Molly Stevens has done a great job over the last few weeks. She's found her spot as being an inside cutter. That's where she finds her success. Becca Block, speed coming into the offensive end of the field, and that quick ball movement. Michelle Tumalo to Sam Apuzzo, finding an open cutter. That's timing. We saw a cut first by Taylor Cummings that opened up space for Molly Stevens. Oftentimes when everyone is moving, it catches defense off of their guard. They have to communicate the more cuts that are happening on the field, and a little bit of a miscue is capitalizing for Team Cummings in gold.
Plays like that, Mira Shane in goal doesn't have a prayer. Molly Stevens with tallies in 9 of her last 11. She has 15 goals this season. 2 goals for Team Cummings, 13 seconds apart. Cummings, her side has taken 10 of the 12 draws so far. Sammy Jo Tracy trying to turn that script around, and she will with help from Peros on the ground ball. Katrina Dowd will settle in 6-on-6. We haven't had any cards assessed in this game so far tonight. No player up situations. The officials, Liz Brush, Lucia Perfetti-Clark, Devin Holcomb, and Lauren Charwat. Sammy Jo Tracy picked up by Kira Pelton. Sammy Jo rolling back on the redodge. Halfway through the 60-second shot clock. Dowd isn't in any particular hurry. Allie Kennedy with some get up and go. She's looking for running room against Cummings. Off the flash cut there, it gets away from Sydney Pareca. On the scoop ground ball, it's Becca Block, and this is a fast break 4-on-3. Block closing. Stevens is next. One more Apuzzo, back for Block. She fanned on it.
Becca Block, one of the players who's in the running for defensive player. When you look at her play on the field, I love the fact that she stayed in there offensively. Most defensive players would immediately turn around and get themselves out of the play. However, we've seen several defensive players score throughout Athletes Unlimited.
Absolutely, Ella Simpkins has 2 of those. That pass reeled in by Cummings. Cummings fires and scores! Just enough room to beat Shane again. And the lead balloons to its largest at 5.
More cowbell, please. Team Cummings scores at the 4:45 mark of the third quarter.
Taylor Cummings, her team turning up the intensity. Will the team in purple be able to respond? Marie McCool, Taylor Cummings turning up the Jets against Mira Shane. It's an 8-3 advantage for Team Cummings. Follow the leader, 27 in gold.
Impossible? Ha! Watch me. That word is not in my vocabulary. Welcome to my mentality, where I will show you freedom, recognition, for every athlete, every woman, for my team, for me. Say my name because I am the best at what I do. The All-American, the Olympian. My craft is my free expression, where I compete to win. I stand for racial equality, gender equality, income equality, as a guaranteed, tangible reality. Welcome to where I play, where I am free.
Be unlimited, everyone. Kylie Ohlmiller scored early in the third quarter. Since then, Taylor Cummings and her squad, 3 unanswered. It's 8-3, nearing the midway mark of this frame. Folks, you can join us at Maureen Hendricks Field for Sunday's finale here at the Maryland Soccerplex. Tickets are still available at auprosports.com/tickets/lacrosse. Here at Maureen Hendricks Field, our presenting field partners, the good people at Geico, we appreciate all of their support in this past 5 weeks. We will crown a champion on Sunday night. We will hand out 4 medals, top 4 on the overall leaderboard. A Defensive Player of the Year award will be assessed on Sunday. Between now and then, plenty of work to decide who's who on the, quote, podium, if you will, as Peros spins towards the 8-meter key. The team in purple, named after Kylie Ohlmiller, trails by 5. They're being outshot by a bunch. Time for Allie Kennedy to get up and go. Kennedy off the sweep, shadowed by Little. Kennedy off the split dodge, bouncer that goes wide of Britt Reed. Backed up on the end line by Katrina Dowd. Dowd sprinting in, gets the angle, but Reed took that angle away. Britt Reed with her 5th save on the day. One of 6 in the family as Pelton goes to the cage. 4 brothers and a sister for Britt. Brian and Josh are in New Jersey. Stuart, Doug, and Ellie live in England. Britt will be playing for Team England come international play next year. Stevens lurking behind the cage, picked up by Hirsch. 25 seconds to shoot. On the ISO, McCool flips it. Cummings looks for Ronbeck. Backed up by Apuzzo. Harassed immediately by Dowdy. 13 seconds to shoot. Cummings on the flip. Tumalo behind the key. Inside, that bounces wide of Shane. They fight for it on the end line. This is a shot clock violation as it's turned over to Team Ohlmiller.
Team Cummings relentless in the ride. Not only have they been stellar on attack, but their efforts in slowing Team Ohlmiller down in transition is second to none. They apply so much pressure all over the field.
Izzy McMahon tells us she loves to compete. She has Kira Pelton hung up now. Back behind the goal. Nice look. Kennedy inside. She scores. Allie Kennedy.
What I love, backdoor cuts, so underrated and yet so easy to do offensively. If your defensive player is denying you the ball in an ISO situation, you want to pop out and take her on an ISO, then backdoor her. As soon as you see her ponytail, you want to cut straight to the goal, and that's immediately what Allie Kennedy did. As soon as she saw her defensive player take a peek at Izzy McMahon, she knew she had her beat. And then again, love the the slight little stick fake, the bringing it around, they're making Britt Reed bite before they actually shoot the ball.
Sarah Brown, former Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, 24 in the gold, had no chance to recover. Kennedy gets her second of the game, brings her team back within 4 points. Folks, tomorrow night, 6 Eastern, don't miss the backyard barbecue sport taking the world by storm. Cornhole makes its way to Des Moines for the Pro Shootout number 7. Catch the action as players compete for a chance at hefty cash prizes. It's all right here on CBS Sports Network. 8-4 for Team Cummings. Cummings has the lead in this third quarter as well with 20 points on the line. Friends, we invite you to head to auprosports.com. That's where you can get your Athletes Unlimited gear. And don't forget to follow us on social at AU Pro Sports for exclusive inside content. Sydney Parecka right there. Her sister Shayna will be playing in the nightcap when Team Glenn faces Team Waters. As far as the players in this game and their respective spots on the overall leaderboard, have a look.
Kylie Ohlmiller, the lone player from her team in purple. That's due to the fact that the first 2 quarters went to Taylor Cummings. Every single time her players get those points, the entire group will move up that leaderboard.
And right now the third quarter is being led by the team in gold again, 3-2. Ohlmiller has a couple of tallies today, same for her former Stony Brook teammate Allie Kennedy. Mira Shane doing her best in the goal circle. Shane has gone head up with Britt Reed today. Britt at the opposite end leads the league in total saves. The draw story has been heavily in favor of Taylor Cummings so far this early evening. Sammy Jo Tracy done wagging her tongue and now ready to get to work.
Joe, knowing Sammy Jo, I feel like that's a signal.
It is a signal.
To those around her.
It is. McCool and Cummings playing catch on the way to the goal. 2.5 to go in the third. There's a 60-second shot clock in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Apuzzo finds Ronbeck on the run, picked up by Kennedy. It was 3-1 after 8 minutes. It was 5-2 at the halftime break. McCool on the go. She scores. Marie McCool has another hat trick.
I was about to say this second half, the third quarter, we've seen a lot of Taylor Cummings on the offensive end of the field. We saw a lot of Marie McCool in that first quarter. She knew exactly what we were thinking. This is her third goal of the night. I love her little hop skip. She's so fluid on the field. Right before she's getting ready to accelerate, those slight little hops, those little skips, that's what gets the defense on their heels before she accelerates even more to that goal cage using her speed and athleticism. We see right here, defensively, a little bit too much space. No contact was made right until that shot was taken. So when you don't make contact and offense has space, they have the advantage.
McCool with a burst up the leaderboard in the last couple of weeks. She climbed 8 spots on the leaderboard last weekend alone. Has 3 goals tonight. Has made it 9-4 with 2:15 to go in the frame. In the air, Cummings, the taller of the two at the draw circle, bats that one down. Player left the restraining box early, so possession is awarded to Team Cummings with 2 and change to go. The score in this third quarter, we have 4-2 in favor of Team Cummings. Top 4 players on the overall leaderboard come Sunday night once the MVP voting is complete. They'll be the medalists for this inaugural season of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Athletes Unlimited launched in 2020 with women's softball. That was held in Chicago. On the go, Shane was there waiting at the end of the line for Cummings. Volleyball in March of 2021 in Dallas. Softball season number 2 coming up in Rosemont next weekend. Once Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse runs final. Parecka trying to lead McCone inside the key. Lindsay down in the dirt for a moment. And the ball belongs to Britt Reed. 70 seconds remaining in the quarter. Ohlmiller with a strong ride on Pelton. Ball down. Pelton trying to advance it. She comes up with it in her cross, and she spots MC Byrne, who played collegiately at Virginia Tech, for the clear. We hear the whistle, a timeout called. We mentioned the facilitator for Team Ohlmiller is Shanta Lecker. The facilitator for Team Cummings is Abby Jackson. We see her there, center screen in the black t-shirt. Facilitators, advisors, helpers on the sideline.
You know, it's always nice to have an extra set of eyes out there knowing when to take a timeout. They can call a timeout in addition to the team captain. But oftentimes when you're on the field, maybe there's something that you don't quite see that the facilitator can help you with. Just like you had mentioned, they're there to advise.
Marie McCool, the last player on the board with her third on the day, following an Allie Kennedy strike. It's a 9-4 lead for Team Cummings. Athlete causes, allowing athletes to play their season in part for the benefit of the nonprofit organization of their choice. Let's learn more from Sam Apuzzo.
I'm Sam Apuzzo, and I'm playing for the Headstrong Foundation. Headstrong supports families who are affected by cancer. They support them financially, residentially, and then also emotionally. I hope to kind of just shine a light on what they're doing and kind of their goal, and also try to bring in obviously some donations into the foundation.
Great job, Sam. You see a Tuaraton Award winner back in 2018, and one of those players, Court, you can't help but notice. And when she's playing right, she can do things offensively and do them in an awful hurry.
She can. We saw her score a goal within the first 6 seconds. Sam also has the ability to take the draw control, but when Taylor Cummings is your teammate, you want to make sure you're putting yourself in the best possible position to score, because Taylor's done an outstanding job of winning that draw. And then Sam putting herself in a position to catch and finish with a nice little one-on-one on the goalie.
The patented Apuzzo leap at the tail end, 6 seconds into the contest, the fastest goal scored this season. Hallie Majorana, you saw her listed second there. She scored the first goal of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, and it only took her 8 seconds to dent the twine.
She also did it with a behind the back, if I remember correctly.
It was done with style. It was a great way to break in a brand new league. A league we've had tremendous fun with. Apuzzo, first team All-American out of Boston College, the daughter of Michael and Rosemary. She had a 5-goal game Apuzzo did back in week 2. Authored that against Team Wood. We'll see Kayla a little later on tonight when Team Glenn matches up with Team Waters. The officials are huddling up, and if I remember, Court, there may have been a question as to whether or not Kira Pelton used her hand on the lacrosse ball.
To play. So we're going to give it to purple where the pickup happened. Okay? So it's going to be a whistle.
Kira Pelton was trying to clear. She was being ridden heavily by Kylie Ohlmiller, and it looked like she used her hand to advance the ball.
And rightly so. I mean, that's a foul, which is why the referees are bringing it together to talk. Obviously, we saw smiles there. These are competitors. Anytime they don't want to lose the ball, but I love when the referees come together, they talk about things, fix a call that maybe needed to be called, and perfect time and a timeout.
Kira's been doing a lot of mechanical engineering work to create a more sustainable ecosystem. So many of these players in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, about 19 of them, working a full-time job while competing this summer. Representing a lot of different states from around the nation, 16 of them in fact. Peros on the go, working with Ohlmiller. Kylie, a native of Islip, New York, Suffolk County on Long Island. Ohlmiller on the go, rolling back. Feed for Peros, she'll fire. That bounce shot was eaten up by Britt Reed. Every save the goalie makes earns her 6 points. Reed's outlet is on the button for Molly Little. Little with plenty of get up and go, advancing the ball into traffic. Good pickup there as Stevens is matched up with Hirsch. Final 20 seconds of the quarter. Team Cummings in line to win this quarter again. Tumalo feeds, that's too high. Right to a waiting and an alert Mira Shane. As with 12 seconds left, there has been a timeout called. So the score right now in the quarter, by my count, Court, is 4-2 in favor of Cummings. A two-pointer here for Kylie Ohlmiller's side could carry it over to the fourth.
Absolutely, and now's the time when you're drawing up your playboard. There's plenty of time, but you want people in the right positions in order to get that two-pointer, because Britt Reed has done an outstanding job of seeing the ball coming from downtown. She's set, she's ready, she'll be expecting it, so you need to make sure to set up a good play offensively, getting somebody's hands free nice and quickly. I think that was a great use of a timeout, because you only get one per quarter per team, and then you lose it.
9-4 for Team Cummings. On Sunday, we'll crown a champion and enter those names of the medalists into the Book of Unlimited, designed, handmade, and bound for Athletes Unlimited. That weighs 25 pounds, Court.
500 pages at that. What I love is the champion, along with all those who compete, they're inscribed inside of the Book of Unlimited.
It was originally opened for the opening ceremony for softball. The Book of Unlimited. More names scripted in there come Sunday. They'll be inscribed into the book. The Geico overall leaderboard up to the moment. Plenty of gold jerseys. Taylor Cummings setting the pace and improving her lead over Kaylee Waters, the keeper who will be in net in game 2.
Again, you continue to climb as the game is going due to quarter points in addition to statistical points, so no surprise that Taylor keeps bumping up. We see her winning draw controls in addition to scoring goals.
And the other thing that has really helped number 27 in gold has been the amount of times she's been named an MVP of the game. At the end of the game, the players vote for most valuable player. They assess 3 different MVPs, numbers 1, 2, and 3. If you come in first, you get 45. Second, you get 30. Third in the MVP voting, you get 15. Taylor is right up there for MVP points. Just another of the reasons why she's overall on the lead. The head official is Liz Brush, about to bring play back to count with 5 seconds to go. Shane finds McCone. McCone pulls up, did not take the 2, and that will do it for the quarter. 3 quarters complete, and Team Cummings wins another frame over Team Ohlmiller. Kylie's squad frustrated, a 9-4 deficit after 3, making their move.
And we're getting ready for softball season, practicing with our wiffle balls, and sad to see it go, but excited for softball. And you're watching Athletes Unlimited.
Lacrosse players showing off for their softball sisters there, and going deep was Izzy McMahon. I think she'd fare quite well in Athletes Unlimited softball coming up, season 2.
You know, their first season in Athletes Unlimited for softball was August 29th through September 28th of last year. One of only a few professional sports that took place during the time due to COVID.
We'll be turning things over to Eric Collins and Danielle Laurie. 60 players on the roster. They've added 4 pitchers this summer. As far as the lacrosse story is concerned so far tonight, Taylor Cummings to the left there, a 9-4 lead over Team Ohlmiller. And by quarter, it has been a sweep for the team in gold, which means each of them has earned a total now of 60 points on the overall leaderboard. And that just makes my point more bold. 60-0 tonight.
And that hurts if your team Ohlmiller. Kylie did a great job. She had the first pick in the draft, but they need this fourth quarter point.
And that hurts Kaylee Waters and Katie Glynn. Waters will be wearing orange. Glynn will be wearing blue in goal tonight. Those players, those 4, Ohlmiller, Waters, Glynn, and Cummings, were the top 4 in the overall leaderboard. They were captains this week. They drafted their squads. You and I had a chance to run that draft on Monday, and we are crowning one single champion Sunday night. Game 25 of 30 on the schedule. Fourth quarter set to unfold. Taylor Cummings has been a dominant force on the draw, and that story continues. 2 more points for her on the pickup.
You know, we got to talk about the initial team wearing gold was when Kylie Ohlmiller was captain, and that's what set that gold jersey phenomenon that it seems any team who wears it, they just tend to win more.
Michelle Tumolo in goal this weekend. Cummings back behind the cage. Joe and Courtney with you down the stretch. Sam Apuzzo picked up by Dowdy. Dowdy with a good stick check. Halfway through the 60-second shot clock, there's an 8-meter key in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. You score from behind that, you'll get 2 for yourself and 16. 2 for your team and 16 for yourself, as Cummings takes matters into her own hands. Taylor has the hat trick.
Taylor is certainly feeling things on the offensive end of the field. She likes her matchup. She's able to get a step with her speed each and every time. Her 3rd goal of the night, all of them coming in the second half of the game, quarters 3 and 4. But as soon as she catches it, her eyes are up. I like that she's looking. She's looking for teammates, any possibilities are in front of her. But she sees that her defensive player has her hips open, which allows her to take her top side. Anytime a defensive player has their hips open to the inside, it means the more you roll, the more likely they are to keep opening and allowing you to cage.
2-time Big Ten Midfielder of the Year, 3-time National Midfielder of the Year. Taylor Cummings just showing off in this final weekend of Athletes Unlimited, padding her lead. The team lead grows to a game high 6 points. Looking to McCool off the draw. Sammy Jo Tracy didn't come up with a scoop just yet. Now she does. Draw control for 13 in the purple. On the shovel for Peros. Emily Peros finds Lindsay McCone. McCone, a top player out of Northwestern, 3rd-team All-American in her collegiate days, recently completed in 2021. Katrina Dowd, she'll be making her way back to Germany, I would presume, pretty soon. Ohlmiller on the roll dodge. Bounce shot, score! Kylie Ohlmiller with a lightning quick release.
Joe, we were talking about MVPs, and you want to make sure that you are known on the field. Kylie is doing that whether or not her team has an opportunity to win this game. She's putting the team on her back. This is her 3rd goal of the night. All isolation type situations as we watch that quick little pop out, getting space from her defensive player. And again, she's doing it against one of the best Ds that there are. She thought about rolling back, and I think that's why Becca Block gave her a little bit of space defensively, because she thought she was going to roll again. Kylie's not abnormal to having 2 roll dodges in one, but that nice little righty goal, 2 of her goals now have been with her offhand.
All 4 of the teams went through their practice paces yesterday, Court. We were there to see it, and they worked for a little bit more than an hour each. Temperatures tonight are in the 80s. The sun is starting to set behind the cloud cover. The lights are on here at Maureen Hendricks Field of the Maryland Soccerplex. And you can tell, though, that after 5 weekends, with consecutive doubleheaders Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that the teams and the players, they've been through the grind. It's wearing them down, but they still show an elite level of performance. Just watch Ohlmiller in this game, 25 of 30. Kennedy dancing with the ball. She'll play on the outside with McCone, working in against Pelton. That one sent wide of the cage, backed up closest to the ball. Warren, when it leaves the field after a shot, gets possession. It stays with the team in purple. Perros took her eyes off that pass. Block says thanks. Becca's got a 4-on-3 fast break. Becca block closing in. Stevens move it. Apuzzo stuffed. Mira Shane at the end of the line.
What a save by Mira Shane.
Mira Shane, 6 points every stop. She has 7 so far in this game. She had 6 back against Team Wood last weekend in a single effort.
Showing her clearing capabilities, pushing it all the way up the field to Kylie Ohlmiller. I like that she took control right then. She didn't want to get out of her stick too fast. She wanted to make sure she was getting it out safely into the captain's hands.
Kennedy off the roll, shooting through Marie McCool and wide. There's a whistle here and a timeout some 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. The lead is 5. Taylor Cummings in goal, working against Mira Shane. Shane has been super tough. Ohlmiller doing her best to claw her way back.
Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Guaranteed Rate.
All the players had the chance to smile for their close-up. Hallie Majorana injured, not competing in this final weekend of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Media Day some 5 weeks ago. We are barreling towards the end of the season, and Taylor Cummings has the top spot on the overall leaderboard, and she's made another great impression so far in this game.
Taylor's done a great job, not just battling at the draw control for her team, but winning them and pushing the fast break. We see her cutting, quick rolling, versatile in her dodging abilities. Right now, a little pick for her teammate. After she picks, she's giving herself an opportunity to catch that ball, full extension, and then shooting off of the back foot. Difficult to do, not something you generally want to teach, but then catching the ball once again, dodging hard to the cage. Her commitment of going hard, and that's exactly what I was talking about in the beginning of the game. She wills her team by that effort, that intensity. She has 3 goals and 1 assist on the night, but the draw control's 1. You cannot win, you cannot gain possession offensively without that draw.
All those markers for Taylor coming in the second half, and she has the lead on the overall leaderboard and is extending it in this first day of play this weekend. Tomorrow, Team Cummings will be squaring off with Team Glenn. Team Ohlmiller has a date with Team Waters on Saturday here at Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. Just 4:50 left in regulation. Fast-moving game this time around. First of 2, we have Waters and Glenn coming up around 8 p.m. Eastern. In the fourth, the score level at 1 apiece. 20 points are on the line should your team win the fourth frame. Ronbeck turns, steps, fires, and scores! Lindsay Ronbeck hurtling onto the score sheet.
Lindsay Ronbeck attacking from behind the goal cage, often called X. You generally don't see her back there. She's a top dodger. This is her 2nd goal on the night. But Team Cummings is rolling. And right there, that little pick behind the goal cage by Michelle Tumalo, her teammate, is what gave a step. And then no defensive slides whatsoever. Every single player in purple at the top of that 8. Nobody was sliding. They were all turning and staring. Right now, they're looking a little bit defeated on the defensive end, and Team Cummings in gold taking advantage.
Gator Girl, Florida class of 2019. All she did in her senior year was score 89 times. Had a 9-goal game against Cincinnati. No surprise to see her racking up the tallies in Athletes Unlimited. Has her second on the day. It's an 11-5 advantage for Taylor Cummings' squad. This is the largest lead of the game, and Team Cummings has the ball with Marie McCool.
Instances like that, it just seems like Team Ohlmiller can't come up with a break. They won the draw control. It gets checked out immediately. Just collecting yourself on the field sometimes can be so difficult, especially when the lead seems so far away.
Team Cummings leading in the fourth 2-1. If that holds and then they win the game, you do the math, they'd be bonus 65 points for everybody wearing that gold jersey. Ronbeck on the roll, spots Stevens, 20 seconds to shoot. Wouldn't be surprised if Team Cummings gets more deliberate now late in the game. Taylor wheels into a double team, stick check by Kennedy. Not a caused turnover though, because the ball came up for the team in goal. A caused turnover defensively is as good as a goal. You get 12 for that. Tumalo, great move to goose that to herself on the ground, and then it's just shoveled wide. What a clever move by Tumalo as she scooped that to herself. Back on the run, Team Ohlmiller. Perro slips past Brown. Finds Allie Kennedy outside the 8-meter key. Just 3 minutes to operate in the fourth. Sammy Jo Tracy spins off the question mark dodge, nothing there. Pelton was with her stride for stride. Ohlmiller swooping in against block. Ohlmiller score! Kylie Ohlmiller flick of the wrist.
You have to talk about that team captain. She has done everything to keep her team into the game. That's her 4th goal on the night. Working hard, trying to elevate her team, pumping them up with some stick hits right there. Kylie saying, come on guys, we still have time. As we watch her right here, Kylie is doing most of her damage from that lower left side. Quick little rollbacks. However, 2 of her goals have been scored with her non-dominant hand. Not usually do you see that, and again, she's doing it every single time against the best defender out here, Becca Block, who's up for Defensive Player of the Year. Her last goal right now, she gets it off of the flip, again, giving herself some time, some space before she's able to take her player topside. And right there, that's just will. That's driving to the cage hard, taking the hit, all while shooting at the same time. Tremendously difficult. Again, the physical part of this game. I guarantee every single one of these players, including Kylie Ohlmiller, has some bumps and bruises.
Kylie remains in 4th. That's where she began the day. Now cresting over 1,300 points on the in-game leaderboard. Ohlmiller with a goal in the 2nd, a goal in the 3rd, 2 goals here in the 4th, has brought her team within 5 points. Courtney, our Geico Defensive Play of the game. We are going to mark Britt Reed.
Britt Reed with the Geico Defensive Play in the game. She's done such a great job of putting her body in the goal cage. She talked a lot about holding her position, and she has done a great job of that. Definitely from shots that are far out, but also in tight. She's holding that line and her stance, waiting for the release to come.
In a couple days' time, we'll be awarding the Geico Defensive Player of the Year Sunday night. The Athletes Unlimited Award comes with an added $5,000 bonus for the winner, and these are the nominees. Block in the game today, Simpkins and Wood coming up in the game that will close proceedings tonight. And with those 3, you can do outstanding work at the defensive end.
You know, Becca's done a great job despite several goals coming from Kylie Ohlmiller. She's always a part of the clearing game, working at that center draw as well.
Sammy Jo needs possession here. She's got to figure out Taylor Cummings. The officials are going to award the ball to Team Cummings after a violation on Sammy Jo.
You know, we heard from Kylie talk about mixing things up. I think now might be the time to throw Lindsay McCone. You just never know what could happen, changing things up.
There is a 60-second shot clock as McCool goes to the cage. Big save there by Shane. But now is the time when time is an ally for the team that's dressed in gold. Just 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. Peros, a much-needed possession, racing back. Trail check was made by Apuzzo, but she fouled Peros. It'll be Team Ohlmiller ball. They balance up 6-on-6. Kennedy thought about the two, so did McCone. Feed it inside. Sammy Joe hit the outside of the post. A fresh 60-second shot clock, but the ground ball comes up for MC Byrne. 1 minute and 50 seconds away from victory lane. Team Cummings, this fourth quarter right now is tied. Cummings on the way to the cage. The pass for Apuzzo. If it remains tied, the winning points go to the team that wins the overall game. So that would favor Cummings' squad.
And at this point offensively, it's let the time click away before you try and attack that goal cage, because just like you mentioned, they would potentially get it even with a tie. So be smart with the ball, take time off so that Kylie Ohlmiller's team in purple does not have much possession.
Apuzzo can dilly-dally another 16 seconds on the shot clock. Instead, she pumps one to the corner for emphasis.
Team Cummings in gold just continues to roll, now doubling up on the score of Team Ohlmiller. Team Cummings looking for a 2-point, but as we looked at this, her foot is kind of close to the line. It cannot be stepping on the line as she shoots. And so that's a question right there. Was her foot dragging as she took that shot? Was it not?
Really interesting. The right foot was fine. The left foot scraped across the line, but was the ball out of the head of the cross? The officials are more than likely going to have to review this. Watch Apuzzo. It's the left foot that was scraping the line. The right foot was there on the release, to my eye, behind the line. And Liz Brush, number 12 in the official's jersey, will look at the tablet to review. Regardless, it will be Apuzzo's third goal of the game. See the left foot scrape right there. Was the ball already out of the head of the cross?
Oof, that one's pretty close to
Courtney,
call.
I think the right foot fine on the plant.
Right, it was that drag behind, and that's what's pretty close. It's hard to tell. From this angle, we see it dragging. We see it still in her stick.
Oh, man, that's close. Very, very close. And that last replay, you could see as the ball was bouncing, the English, the spin that is so debilitating to goalkeepers. Mira Shane was just about there, but the side spin is what beat her to the post. Apuzzo lets it fly. Have a look. Watch the feet again.
As we look, that foot is dragging. That nice close-up that we have. I mean, it kind of looks like it's out of her stick.
It's almost simultaneous. Sam Apuzzo jogs it off, picks up her third, gets congratulations from Michelle Tumolo. The question is, does it make it 12-6 or 13-6? It is important with regard to the overall leaderboard, without a doubt. It is important to who wins the quarter, without a doubt. Because if it's a 2, Apuzzo gets 16 instead of 12, and she's in the mix, very much in the mix. Sam Apuzzo began the day 10th on the overall leaderboard, and she's going to climb, especially if Team Cummings does damage over the next couple days. This game appears to be in the books. If they keep winning, everybody in goal keeps climbing in a race for a medal.
And then the more you do, obviously we saw Marie McCool with several goals to begin the game, and then Taylor Cummings took a chunk of goals, and then Sam Apuzzo. So as things get moving and progressing, it's kind of what's fresher in players' minds as they're doing the MVP, so that's taken into account as well.
Taylor's eager to get back to work. Liz Brush wants to make sure. Lucia Perfetti-Clark, Devin Holcomb.
The ball was released while the player was still in the air, no foot on the ground, so we have 2 points on the shot.
So Apuzzo gets the 2-pointer. Make it 13-6. A smile of appreciation from Sam. Sam leads the league in terms of overall shots. She's a 30 goal scorer, as you can tell. She had 9 last weekend alone. I'm telling you, if I'm drafting again on Monday, there is no Monday draft, but if I'm drafting again on Monday, she's always my #1 pick.
And she's not even taking the draw right now.
She and Kayla Trainer are right there. When you think about it, of course, if Taylor Cummings is not a captain, she's in that discussion just the same. Final minute of the 4th soon to come. Ohlmiller has 4 goals, but she and her mates are 7 points down. Katrina Dowd's a long way from the cooker. Dowd picked up by Little, yielding the ball to McCone. Final 50 seconds of play. Long shot is over top of the cage. Team Glenn and Team Waters, 8 p.m. tonight. As we wrap up Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on CBS Sports Network. That pass for Ohlmiller, that's too hot to handle. Final 30 seconds of the game. Little running away from Sammy Jo Tracy. Ronbeck getting to the cage. Sent it wide. Backed up by Tumalo. Shot clock is turned off. Team Gold can have the ball for the final 18 ticks. As expected, Taylor Cummings' side, very, very impressive. Offensively, defensively, they've got all the bases covered. This one is in the books. Team Cummings, a perfect sweep all 4 quarters, and the final score, 13-6.
Joe, what a dominating win by Team Cummings. First and foremost, from the draw control, that's how you set the tone of the game. And Team Cummings, time and time again, battling for that ball, even when it was put to the spot of where Team Ohlmiller wanted it. They were able to come up with a ground ball. They were able to out-hustle. It was about athleticism and desire.
Taylor very pleased with her mates. Getting a big hug from Britt Reed. Taylor Cummings entered the day #1 on the overall leaderboard. She's pumped up after this kind of performance.
Taylor with her work at the draw control, pushing fast breaks, gaining possession for her team. Her dodging ability, she showed her versatility. Her quick rolls inside, her ability to work with others. This is a nice little 2-man game. All eyes on Sam Apuzzo. But she was able to come up with an amazing catch right there. Immediately off of that one-handed, dodging hard to the cage. Taylor showing that she's able to dodge from the top. Anything she did tonight showed that she can attack from anywhere.
Courtney, in a few moments, we're going to be handed a final box score, and when you're going to look at Cummings, you're going to see, sure, the 3 goals and the assist, but she factors in so many ways, and her team sweeps across the board. It's going to be very hard for anyone to catch 27 in gold.
I mean, I guarantee she had a lot of ground balls in there as well.
Draw control, on and on and on.
I'd say the one part of her game that we probably didn't see as much of tonight because she was more focused on just sitting low was playing solid defense.
Does it all, and Team Cummings wins. For Courtney Martinez-Connor, for all the men and women in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate your watching Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Too much for the Golden Girls again.